I'm Holly Richardson.
My name is Greg Skortis. Listen for the new Inside Sources.
One of the things that people don't realize about Utah politics, at the state legislative level, there's a lot of camaraderie and a lot of working together for the good of Utah. Inside Sources, weekdays from 9 to noon.
This is a show that a person could listen and learn something every day and say, you know what, I didn't know that this morning at 9, but I know it now. Inside Sources.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on KSL News Radio.
Welcome to the KSL Real Estate Show. Hear updates on the national and local Utah real estate markets. We cover residential and commercial properties. Plus, get inspiring ideas to make your house a home from our sponsor, Osmond Designs. Here's Heather Osmond and Jeff Caplan on KSL News Radio.
Welcome to the Real Estate Show. We're glad you're with us. I'm Jeff Caplan. Heather Osmond is here from Osmond Designs, the award-winning Osmond Designs. Her stores are in Lehigh and Orem.
You are too kind. Thank you for that introduction, Jeff. Yes, this last couple of weeks, we won the Best of State competition for interior design, for home decor, and for furniture stores. So we are so proud about that, and it's such an exciting time. I also want to mention the Parade of Homes. Today is the very last day. For all you procrastinators out there, it is not too late. You still have a few hours to look at the best homes in the state of Utah. Right there in the Utah Valley Parade of Homes. Do not miss the $17 million home. I'm just saying, it takes a lot to impress me, and that home is unbelievable and so much fun and different than anything you will ever see in Utah. So check that out. Today, I am so happy to have two guests on the show. You know, one thing I've learned in life is that things just come full circle. And today we have Natalee Callahan, who is one of my friends. She's an incredible designer. She used to work at Osmond Designs before she moved to Orlando, Florida with her husband, Greg. Today we have both of them on the show with us. Welcome, Natalee.
Oh, thank you for having us.
So fun to catch up. Let me just tell you this, you guys. Natalee is an incredible, successful YouTuber. Natalee, tell us about your history. How did you become involved in design first? And then we'll get into all of the details of your incredible YouTube channel.
Okay, so actually I started in real estate. I got my real estate license in 2001 here in the state of Utah, and I practiced full-time as a real estate agent for years, and it kind of morphed into design because I started with a home builder, and he's like, can you decorate our model home for us? And I said, sure. I mean, I've never done it, but I liked that, and so I did. And then that morphed into some of the people who were purchasing some of these new homes into asking me to decorate their new homes. And then I realized that the part I really loved about homes was the homes themselves. And then I decided that this was something that I wanted to do more fully. And so I applied to Osmond Designs, and you were the one who gave me my first official chance at designing full-time for a living. And then I worked there for 3 years for you, and it was just a blast. So and so then from there, that morphed into going on to HGTV for a minute.
Only HGTV.
Wait, what did you do on HGTV?
So I was on a show called Design Star. It did not go super well, but I feel like everything happens for a reason. And so it was very short-lived, and that's okay, because then I found out I was pregnant with our first son together. And then I stayed home with kids for about 5 years. And then I was like, what am I going to do after that? So I started posting videos on YouTube just for fun, because I thought that they would be helpful to people, and taught them things that I had learned. And they were really bad videos at first.
I'm sure you look back and you're horrified, but
yes.
They really were better than you probably think they were.
Oh, no, they were pretty cringe.
But she's forgetting that she got a master's degree from Purdue during that time too.
Yeah.
Kind of a big detail there.
Only that little small detail. But every champion was once a rookie, Natalee. So
That's true.
Forgive yourself. You're incredible.
It's all a process, and then when I decided to go back to work full time after our kids were in school, my husband was like, "What do you want to do?" And I'm like, "Well, I kind of just want to make videos on YouTube full time. And he was my biggest cheerleader. He said, do it. So,
I said, can you actually make money? Doing that? And she said, I think so.
So the important thing I'm hearing there is you did not say, I am going to be an influencer. This just kind of happened.
yeah. So I wanted to make videos that would be helpful to people, that would make design and DIY accessible and explain things in a way that I think that people could understand and do themselves and make it more approachable and less out of reach. And so that's what I set out to do. And now we're 7 or 8 years into this, and it's going well. And so I've built a fun community that is empowers and lifts women and helps them realize that they are really capable of doing amazing things.
Oh, for sure. Okay, so in the design industry, clearly that's where you and I met, and It's what our first love is. We love anything interior design related.
Yes.
What do you think? I know you're from Orlando, Florida right now, but we're in Utah. Thank you for flying here to be on the show. I just have to say, so cool. What's different about Utah versus Florida design?
Oh, interesting. So, like the obvious thing is there's no basements in Florida. So that's one thing. And then there's a lot of Mediterranean design in Florida. There's obviously, you've got the quintessential terracotta tile ceilings, and that kind of bleeds into the design. And so there's a heavy influence of like a Mediterranean feel there. You're seeing a lot more modern and contemporary stuff coming in. They've kind of done a more contemporary shingle that's still kind of like the terracotta, but it's less curly, and more straight and streamlined, but definitely a heavy Mediterranean feel. And it's been a minute since I've lived in Utah, so I'm going to hit up the Parade of Homes while I'm here, and with the rest of you, hopefully, and check out some of what's hot here in Utah right now.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that mountain influence is not necessarily a strong point in Florida. I love hearing, out-of-state people talk about what the style is in their area. And I think Utah definitely has its own distinct look and vibe. And what I'm loving most about Utah design right now is you're seeing everything on the spectrum, the very, very updated traditional to the very, very modern, and everything in between. Which, back in the day when you worked at our store, it was very just Tuscan old world.
Yes.
Everything was big, and it was brown, and it was heavy, and
a lot of faux finishes on the wall.
A lot of glazing, and yes, all of those good things. And it's not that anymore. Yeah. So I'm excited for you to go with me to the Parade of Homes, and we can check out some of these homes together and laugh and tell all of our funny stories about Osmond Designs back, in the day when we were together. Natalee, your YouTube video, let's go back to that.
Okay.
You do a lot of DIY.
Yes.
I think that's incredible, because I think a lot of people can't do that. They want to do it, and they can't do it successful, and you make it easy.
Well, I try to, that's for sure. I think that a lot of the channels that I had seen, they approach DIY in a way that they expect you to have some kind of base knowledge on how to do this when they're talking. And I wanted to explain it in a way that people who have no experience could understand it. And I might not always do it the way a contractor would do it, but I do it in a way that makes sense to me. And the results have turned out okay, I think. What
kind of videos? What are some examples of how to...
Well, I do kind of like the full gamut from design to like building a fireplace. So I build like some fireplaces, electric, not like gas or chimneys or things like that, but electric fireplace that look legit and real. Everything from that to how to make your home look expensive on a budget, and design-based videos. So it's all things DIY and home decor, and it's a lot of fun.
Okay, so right before we started on the radio today, you were talking about this new line that you just launched. I'm blown away. I think this is so cool, and I need this.
So Aleah is a female power tool / DIY tool brand that we launched on my channel, and my husband helps me with that on the business end, and I wanted to make sure that women particularly, because you can go into any home improvement store and see a whole assortment of power tools and tools designed for men. Women have smaller hands. They also, I found out, put added weights in a lot of the tools to make them feel more substantial to men. And so what I've tried to do is lighten them up, make them a little bit smaller for smaller hands, but not lack any of the power that the male counterparts have in their tools. So these are powerful tools for powerful women, and yeah, so it's been really, really fun. We have an incredible drill and some safety glasses and a lot more in the works.
Okay, so what do they look like?
Okay, so
this is the most important part.
Okay, so they are not pink. I get asked that a lot, and the reason I didn't do the pink is because for me, the tools that are traditionally pink are just weak male tools that have been color washed in pink. And so, so then they are like a blue, like a Tiffany type blue with a glitter in it, and then also a black on black cheetah print handle. And they are so pretty.
Did you say cheetah print handle?
Yes. And they come in a beautiful like purse-like box so that you get you're getting a beautiful designer bag, but it is a tool.
All of us in Utah need these power tools. All right, women, we're going to tell you where to find them coming up next on the KSL Real Estate Show. Stay tuned.
I'm Holly Richardson.
My name is Greg Skortis. Listen for the new Inside Sources.
One of the things that people don't realize about Utah politics, at the state legislative level, there's a lot of camaraderie and a lot of working together for the good of Utah. Inside Sources, weekdays from 9 to noon.
This is a show that a person could listen and learn something every day and say, you know what, I didn't know that this morning at 9, but I know it now. Inside Sources.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on KSL News Radio.
Too many tools, too much stress, and way too many bills.
Odoo replaces it all. One connected platform for every part of your business, so you can work faster, smarter, and for less. Odoo, the only software you'll ever need. Try it free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Now at Verizon, we're locking in low prices for 3 years, guaranteed, on my plan. And you can get a single line for just $45 a month when you switch and bring your phone. That's our best price ever on unlimited welcome, with autopay plus taxes and fees, guaranteed for 3 years. Because at Verizon, we got you. Visit your local Salt Lake City Verizon store today. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply.
2 years ago, Americans watched in horror as a crisis unfolded at the Kabul airport.
There's desperation and anguish.
More than 80,000 Afghans have since arrived in America, but this story is still unfolding. I'm Andrea Smartin. In my new podcast, Stranger Becomes Neighbor, we'll find out what happens to these new arrivals in our communities. Who would help our newest neighbors? Follow us at kslpodcast.com, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else you listen.
We're back with the KSL Real Estate Show, sponsored by Osmond Designs on KSL News Radio.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Show. We're glad you're here. I'm Jeff Caplan. Heather Osmond is here from Osmond Designs. Her stores are in Lehigh and Orem. Parade of Homes wrapping up.
It is Parade of Homes. It's the very last day, so it is not too late, but you do need to get out today. Stop by the Orem or the Lehigh Osmond Design stores and pick up your discount tickets. They are $3 off per ticket, which adds up if you're buying multiple tickets. Plus, you get a free lanyard and a free bag and, a great smile when you come in. We have the best team of interior designers, and we love to promote the Parade of Homes. We personally did 5 homes that we're very, very proud of, and 2 of them have already sold. They were spec homes that builders did.
That's awesome.
So we're feeling pretty happy about that. That's exciting. So whether you are thinking of buying a new home or maybe remodeling your home, we definitely need to give a shout out to Central Bank, who provides the money part of that part. And Central Bank is a trusted banker and loyal friends of Utah. They have locations all across the Wasatch Front. They've been in business for 130 years, which is absolutely incredible. Friends and neighbors and such contributors and sponsors of our community. They not only provide the residential commercial loans, but they also do a smart savings plans for our kids to help them save money. So I love all of that. Today's guests, we are so proud to have Greg and Natalee Callahan on the show with us. If you don't know about Natalee Callahan, let me just fill you in, KSL friends. She is a very famous YouTuber. She's incredible, and she used to work at Osmond Designs in her very first 3 years of design, and I'm just so proud to have her as my friend. And Natalee, you teach me things about DIYs. I wouldn't necessarily call myself a DIYer. I'm not really that good at those things, and I get just impatient when it's not working, and I just want to hire it out and, throw up my hands and go do other design things that, really are my talents. But you make it easy and you make it understandable. And I think that's why you have been so successful. Tell us a little bit about your YouTube channel and maybe what some of your very favorite episodes are.
Okay. My main goal in my channel is to lift and empower women. That is the primary target of what I do on my... Now, the medium that we do is DIY and home decor, but the goal is to champion women and make them feel good about themselves. And so we, like, some of my favorite projects... honey, what do you...
Yeah, the tuna can.
Oh yeah, that one's
always comes up.
It does always
you ask people.
So there was a very expensive Ballard design chandelier that I really loved, and I thought it would be a fun project to try and recreate on the channel. And but we didn't do it wired for electric, but we did. We used tuna cans. I used tuna cans. I emptied them out, and I used that as like the base of the chandelier that we ended up doing. And that one always gets brought up because it was just such an odd thing to use, but it ended up looking really, really beautiful, almost identical to the inspiration piece. So we do some like high-end knockoffs, and those are always a fun challenge to do. But some of, so there's the little projects, but then there's the big projects and the room designs. I mean, those are just so satisfying to take something that is very vanilla, builder grade and boring, and try to elevate it in a way that's beautiful, but not super expensive, but has that super expensive look. So that's what we're always trying to do, is bougie on a budget.
Bougie.
Ooh, I like that.
So where do we find you on YouTube? What do you subscribe to?
Okay, so my channel name is Designed to the Nines, and I just launched a second channel called DIY to the Nines. So what I've decided to do is separate the design stuff from the DIY stuff. And so Design to the Nines will be heavily design focused, and DIY will be more of like the bigger stuff, the how to put on picture box molding, how to build a fireplace, how to build a big, beautiful range hood on a budget. Take a $5,000 range hood and recreate it for $200 and still have that high-end look. So DIY to the nines and Designed to the Nines. But
okay, Natalee, so you have all these grandiose ideas. Greg, how do you get roped into actually doing some of these projects for your beautiful wife, Natalee?
Oh, thank you for that question. Roped in, is that I love her. You are good. My thoughts kind of go back to when this started. And Natalee was like, hey, I don't know what I want to do, and we had gone through the young couple poor phase, and I had so I was in pharma for years and years and worked up through that, and it got to the point where it's like, hey, you what would you love to do? Like, if you could just, who cares about money? What would you love to do? And she's like, I would love to do YouTube videos. That was where it was. The question was, well, can you make it like $1 at
Can you make any money?
And she's like, yeah,
how expensive is this going to be?
Right, exactly. So, and then kind of fast forward the first year, second year, she started crushing it. And it got to the point where she was making some significant money. And I kind of flippantly said, like, hey girl, you make X, I'll come work for you. And she hit that a year later, that crazy number I gave, and it was and the conversation of, oh, well, we need to start hiring people, and so we have worked on it, and now I work for her full time for a year and a half. So I'm doing the business side. As far as the design stuff goes, I can't believe she has an endless amount of ideas. Like I would run out of ideas, but she just doesn't. She never does.
I have one for you.
Yeah.
How about this? A new vertical on YouTube.
What's that?
Roped in DIY.
You're going to be huge. You're the next star, Greg. I think Greg wins the Husband of the Year award. I'm just saying.
I agree.
Oh, that's kind.
Stay tuned. We have more with Greg and Natalee Callahan here on the KSL Real Estate Show. We'll be right back.
I'm Holly Richardson.
My name is Greg Skordas. Listen for the new Inside Sources.
One of the things that people don't realize about Utah politics, at the state legislative level, there's a lot of camaraderie and a lot of working together for the good of Utah. Inside Sources, weekdays from 9 to noon.
This is a show that a person could listen and learn something every day and say, you know what? I didn't know that this morning at 9, but I know it now. Inside Sources.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on KSL News Radio.
Now at Verizon, we're locking in low prices for 3 years guaranteed on my plan. And you can get a single line for just $45 a month when you switch and bring your phone. That's our best price ever on unlimited welcome with autopay plus taxes and fees, guaranteed for 3 years. Because at Verizon, we got you. Visit your local Salt Lake City Verizon store today. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply.
I'm Dave Cawley, investigative journalist and host of the podcast Cold. Don't miss Cold's new Season 3, where I look into the unsolved disappearance of Cherie Warren, a woman last seen leaving her job at a Salt Lake City office in 1985. Police cast suspicion on Cherie's estranged husband and boyfriend, but never made any arrests or recovered Cherie's remains. Find Cold Season 3, The Search for Cherie, anywhere you get your podcasts.
Welcome to the KSL Real Estate Show. Hear updates on the national and local Utah real estate markets. We cover residential and commercial properties. Plus, get inspiring ideas to make your house a home. From our sponsor, Osmond Designs, here's Heather Osmond and Jeff Caplan on KSL News Radio.
Welcome to the KSL Real Estate Show. We're so glad you're listening this morning. I'm Jeff Caplan, along with Heather Osmond from the award-winning Osmond Designs. Her stores are in Lehigh and Orem.
You're very kind. Yes, we recently won the Best of State awards for Best Furniture Store, Best Interior Design, and Best Home Decor. But I do have a challenger. I'm just saying today.
No.
Greg Callahan, who I just awarded the Best Husband of the Year award.
Yes.
Because he is supporting his gorgeous, beautiful wife, Natalee Callahan, who is a great friend of mine. She actually used to be part of our Osmond Designs team years and years and years ago, for about 3 years before she moved to Orlando, Florida. And it is so fun to have you fly into Utah and be on KSL today with us to tell all of our friends here all about your killer YouTube channel. We'll talk about how do people find that, your DIY projects, and of course, you know, design is just in your blood and you love it. But Greg, prior to the break, we were talking about how do you get talked into or roped into all of these great ideas that Natalee, your wife, has to then post on YouTube? Because at some point, you have to create the fireplace. You have to create the chandeliers, the tuna fish can chandeliers.
Yes.
Like, are you doing that, or is Natalee doing that, or are you doing that together?
When Natalee asks me to help, I come in and help. She gives me a very specific task to do, and I do it. But it all goes back to, she brought home this chair one day, and it was like the rattiest,
pretty ugly.
side of the road chair you've ever seen. And she's like,
sketchy.
I'm going to make this beautiful. And I'll be honest, I was like, there's no way that thing will ever be beautiful again. And a week and a half later, she showed me, and it was the most beautiful chair that she had just reupholstered, redone everything to. And so I was like, you know, this is early on. I was like, wow, you can really do it. So she comes with these ideas, and but honestly, a lot of the times I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
whatever. All right,
he lets me pretty much do whatever I want.
I can't see your vision, but she's never not hit it out of the ballpark. So I just ultimate trust. Yeah.
Well, she's definitely proved herself. You have a track record, Natalee. It's pretty impressive.
Thank you. I learned a lot from you while I was working at Osmond Designs, and so thank you for that.
You're a sweetheart. Okay, let's talk about your new tool line. I am obsessed. I need these tools. I have a toolman, Tim. I don't know. my own little belt that I wear, but it's not cute.
Oh, well, we're working on that too.
I need one of those. So let's again mention your new launch of that. I think it's super cool.
So yes, we launched a powerful drill. It's a hammer drill. And so it has a lot of torque and a lot of power. It can drill into cement, it can drill into brick, and it can do all of your other stuff as well. So this is a powerful drill, but it's also beautiful. And I just wanted to arm women with powerful tools that felt comfortable in their hands, that didn't feel bulky, didn't feel heavy, but still didn't make them have to use their own arm muscles because it had all the power it needed. And so that we launched a year ago. And then we also launched some beautiful safety glasses that also have a cheetah print pattern, but are like very, very cute. And they're ANSI certified tactical grade, so they're going to protect your eyes. And so that's one thing, but we've got many tools in the works. But
What's the name of this line?
Aleah, which means rise up.
Can you spell it?
ALEAH, and it's Aleah.com.
Milwaukee and DeWalt, move over. This new Aleah line is coming to town. And, when you're doing housework, why not have a cute screwdriver? Why not have a great drill? I mean, that just makes doing work even that much more fun. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, I think that there was a very big empty spot in this industry that the women didn't have they're all man-made for men. So that's what we're trying to do.
Natalee, Greg, you dreamed this up, and there's a huge difference between dreamers and entrepreneurs who actually go out and do it. Because when you're dreaming, it's like, I know, I'll have a tool line, and I'm going to be an influencer. But the meat of it is there's work. There are a lot of challenges, probably on the business end of this thing.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, especially lately. The China stuff, the tariff stuff, that it poo-pooed a lot of stuff at just awful timing. But we have learned quickly, I think to be a good entrepreneur, you either need to be incredibly brilliant or just not smart at all. And I think I might be
That's my favorite line of the whole show, right?
Closer to the latter.
Yeah, no, you have to have a small dose of crazy.
Yeah.
Well, you would know that. You've been an entrepreneur.
We're a little both crazy, let's be honest. It's all good. Well, Jeff, you're crazy. I mean, successful radio show host. Look at you go.
I
what
like
are you
to
talking
think
about?
Creative crazy, sure. And it has its challenges. The point is, doing is way different than dreaming. Yeah. And you're out there producing these DIY videos all the time. You have your own tool line.
Yeah.
I'd imagine you have sponsorships because you're an influencer. Am I correct?
Yes. So that's part of what I do for Natalee now is I help Natalee get those sponsorships, contract them, and kind of get everything ready for her to do the fun part, the creative part.
But I will say launching a power tool line has been a little bit more challenging than I initially thought. And so that's why it was kind of a reality check within developing that first tool took a long time before we actually launched it. So there is a lot that goes into it.
And it's a masculine world, that whole world, right?
Yes,
I remember Natalee being on the phone and she said no to someone like 10 or 12 times in a row. And I'm like, this is a call to manufacturer. And but she just would not relent on what she wanted, what her vision was, right? And so she's like, I want a cheetah print handle. And the guy on the other side's like, no, you don't. And she's like, no, you don't understand the vision. And she just never relented. And when she says it's built for female hands, like it really is. Like just the hand, there's the trigger throw thing. I don't want to get technical, but it was just fun to see her go after this.
You mentioned that in this world, power tools, do you get a lot of, oh, honey?
Oh, yeah. It took a minute for them to take me serious, and that's why I was saying no so frequently to the manufacturers because they just weren't getting it. When I told them I wanted glitter in the plastic, they're like, oh, no, you can't do that. And I'm like, well, I can see that there are glittered cars out there in the world, so why can't you put that on a power tool? So I had to push and push and push until I got what I want.
Good on you. And I don't know why most men wouldn't celebrate their wife or their significant other or their sister or their girlfriend having power tools. You're like, yeah, you go fix that. You go, girl.
I have received emails from men going, thank you. My drill is safe.
And it's fun to use because it works and it looks good. And it's less that Greg and Jeff have to have on their honey-do list.
That's right.
When they get home.
My wife handles all the power tools in our house. I think she's going to be excited to hear about Aleah.
Oh, yeah, I bet so.
And she does the gardening too, right, Jeff?
Yeah, I just sit at a desk all day, honest, playing on the computer.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Jeff, tell me about your DIYs. Are you a DIYer?
No,
I'm not either.
Hire somebody. Absolutely.
I'll mess it up, and then I'll have to pay double to have them come back and fix what I messed up. So,
but the few times I'm stuck in that situation where you have to do something, straight to YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
Oh, yeah. And what I found doing DIY is there is almost always a way to fix the project. You're not like, there's been very few times that I've had to scrap. I can't actually even think of one where I've had to totally scrap a project and start over. There's always a way to work around and solve problems. And if you have a willingness to persevere and see it through. So you can do it. People can do amazing, incredible things. Even you, Heather.
I'm going to start watching Natalie's YouTube channel. I'm going to have some really great ideas.
Yes.
As soon as I get my power purse.
That's right.
What I need.
That's right.
That's good. Okay, tell me a funny story. Like, what's a project that maybe didn't go as well? Or maybe one that surprised you that went better than what you...
You got one?
It has to be the monstrosity.
Do it. Let's go.
Okay, so we bought this house. It's a beautiful home, but there was this built-in drywall entertainment center that was like built out of 2x6s and drywall that had tiny little cubby holes in it, and it was just completely unfunctional and really, really ugly. My husband didn't hate it.
Natalie absolutely hated it.
It was really terrible.
Like when we walked in the first time, she's like, well, that's got to go.
What were these like cubby holes that are too small to fit the components of your system like that?
I mean, yes, they were tiny. They were super deep. So yeah, they were.
Too
I'm like,
small
what are you
and
going to
too big at the same time.
You should see Natalie's face right now. She's just like horrified.
No, it was horrific. And I called it the monstrosity because that's what it was. And so we demoed that a couple months ago.
Well, the thing was,
Natalie won. It was out.
Yeah, I didn't hate it. Right, I made the mistake of going. It kind of reminds me of like Star Wars. Like, sorry, I'm a total Star Wars nerd, but
Star
kind of
Wars
looks like a Tatooine.
That tells you everything.
Yeah, it's gone.
And she's like, oh gosh.
Yeah, no. Yes. So, but he was a good sport, and he actually helped me demo it. So
yeah, so he asked before what I do. I swung a hammer on that one. It was fun.
Go, Greg.
Yep.
Sometimes I need to call in a little bit of muscle, and that was one of the times. But a lot of the times I like to do it myself. But sometimes you need some muscle, and he came in and was my muscle.
So what's there now instead?
So funny story is it's still there, empty. We demoed it and we haven't done anything, but that is going to be the project that I do right when I get home. But it's been sitting there 2 months tented off just because other things have come up that...
Oh, it's tied to the new channel. So.
Yes, it's kind of tied to the new channel. Couldn't launch it yet, so we're working on it, and it's going to be coming up on DIY to the nines.
Do you feel like your DIY projects are just all over your home? I mean, clearly this one's on the schedule. I mean, there's probably all these half-finished projects everywhere because that's what makes good TV, right?
Well, actually, like, I really try to see a project through, and that's the good thing about YouTube is I kind of have to see it through, or like the satisfaction part doesn't come into play. But this one's been hanging out a little longer than normal.
So whether you are building a home and you need a loan, or you're doing one of these amazing DIY projects that Natalee and Greg are recommending, we want to give another shout out to Central Bank. They are incredible and so supportive of not only residential projects, but also commercial projects. They've made Osmond Designs what it is today because they invested in my dream years and years and years ago. So thank you, Central Bank, for sponsoring this KSL real estate show and making Utah better than ever before. You're listening to the KSL real estate show. Stay tuned. More with Greg and Natalee Callahan when we come right back.
I'm Holly Richardson.
My name is Greg Skordas. Listen for the new Inside Sources.
One of the things that people don't realize about Utah politics, at the state legislative level, there's a lot of camaraderie and a lot of working together for the good of Utah. Inside Sources, weekdays from 9 to noon.
This is a show that a person could listen and learn something every day and say, you know what? I didn't know that this morning at 9, but I know it now. Inside Sources.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on KSL News Radio.
Now at Verizon, we're locking in low prices for 3 years guaranteed on my plan. And you can get a single line for just $45 a month when you switch and bring your phone. That's our best price ever on unlimited welcome with autopay plus taxes and fees, guaranteed for 3 years. Because at Verizon, we got you. Visit your local Salt Lake City Verizon store today. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply.
Warning, the national debt is spiraling. Trade wars are causing record volatility, and tariffs could boost inflation. Are you ready for what more 2025 could bring? Help protect your wealth now with a free 2025 gold and silver kit from Goldco, the top-rated precious metals company. If you qualify, you could get unlimited bonus silver. That's real silver, instantly matched to your account, tax and penalty-free. Help secure your future today. Call 855-GOLD-IRA. That's 855-GOLD-IRA.
I'm Dave Cawley, investigative journalist and host of the podcast Cold. Don't miss Cold's new Season 3, where I look into the unsolved disappearance of Cherie Warren, a woman last seen leaving her job at a Salt Lake City office in 1985. Police cast suspicion on Cherie's estranged husband and boyfriend, but never made any arrests or recovered Cherie's remains. Find Cold Season 3, The Search for Cherie, anywhere you get your podcasts.
We're back with the KSL Real Estate Show, sponsored by Osmond Designs on KSL News Radio.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Show. Thanks for listening. I'm Jeff Caplan. Heather Osmond is here from Osmond Designs. Her stores are in Lehigh and Orem.
Yes, they are. And today we have Greg and Natalee Callahan back on the KSL Real Estate Show with us. They are all the way from Orlando, Florida. They flew here just for the parade and, of course, to see their daughter. That's just a little side note, but they wanted to see the Parade of Homes and be on this KSL Real Estate Show. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Of course, Natalee
thank you.
and I go way back because Natalee was part of our Osmond Designs team, and we did so many fun projects together.
I loved my time at Osmond Designs. It was so much fun, and I learned a lot. It's really where I got to gain even more experience. I mean, I remember working with you designing parade homes and model homes. We did model homes in Daybreak, and some parade homes, one in Springville, and I think in Alpine. Yeah. So.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was so much fun. I learned a lot from her, so it was just a good time.
You're a sweetheart, and I think design is always changing, and I think that's what's so fun. There's never a dull moment at our store. Natalee can attest to that. Even in the showroom, we're always redecorating. We're always seeing sofas walk out the front door. New sofas are coming in the back door, and Jeff, we brag about this all the time and laugh, but pillows.
Oh my goodness!
What's with the? I don't understand this.
I love
it's
pillows.
like pillows are us.
The best.
Is this where the pillows came from?
Yes.
Was Osmond Designs?
Yes.
Thank you, Heather.
Yes, they look good 10, 20 years later. Yes, we always love pillows, and I think we have, this running joke about it, but it really does change a room. And that's the extent of my DIY. Let's just change some pillows. I can do that. I don't do the power tools. I don't rip out fireplaces like Greg and Natalee. But if you watch their YouTube channel, give a shout out to how people find that.
Okay, so it's Design to the Nines. That's my main channel. And I just launched a DIY to the Nines, which is my new secondary channel. So on both of those, we're doing home decor, design ideas, how to make your home look expensive on a budget, just practical interior design tips. In fact, I just did an episode on how to use ChatGPT to design your home so you can see what it could look like. So many fun things on that. And then on the DIY channel, we are doing actually how you put this into practice, how you can do it yourself, and then when it's time to actually call in a professional, because sometimes you need to call in a professional, and there's no shame in that.
Sometimes you're just a little over your head and you should not do a DIY project.
Yeah.
But Natalee, you make it seem so easy, and I think that's why you have been so successful on your
That's kind
tube.
of you. Yeah, I think it's important to speak to people in a way that they can understand and not speak above people. I'm not a professional contractor. I had to learn it like the hard way by just getting my hands dirty. And so therefore I've learned a lot along the way, but I want to be able to teach somebody in a way that they can understand, where they can be like, yeah, maybe I can do that. And so that's my goal. So is to just lift and empower people, men and mostly women. My audience is mostly women, but men watch it too, and they learn some things. And I think that is just really key, is to speak to people in a way that you meet them where they're at.
And guys, I think the best news of the day is that Natalee and Greg just launched a power tools line that, men, you can buy for your significant other, your girlfriend, your sister, your mom, so that your honey-do list is getting a little bit smaller because she wants to do all the projects.
All right, if you're a guy and you want lighter tools, you could buy too, right?
You could, if you don't mind sparkles and cheetah print.
Okay, wait a minute.
It's pretty girly, but it's a powerful tool, and my husband's used it.
Absolutely, 100%.
It's a good tool. So
your masculinity still intact?
Still intact.
Still there. Has his man card.
Still here.
So good. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, one more shout out. How do people find you?
Design to the Nines on YouTube is my primary place, and DIY to the Nines is my new channel as well over on YouTube. So that's my primary, but you can find me on all socials. I'm on Facebook and Instagram as well.
Excellent. And don't forget to follow Osmond Designs on Instagram and Facebook. Right now, we are posting all of the best of the Utah Valley Parade of Homes, and it's almost over. It's not too late. Get in your car, head to Osmond Designs, Lehigh and Orem locations, pick up your tickets, go check it out. And then there's also the virtual parade. So if you don't get there before 9 p.m. tonight, you can still view all of the homes from the comfort of your living room. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'll be back next week. Heather Osmond, owner of Osmond Designs, and Jeff Caplan of KSL signing off. Take care.
I'm Holly Richardson.
My name is Greg Skortis. Listen for the new Inside Sources.
One of the things that people don't realize about Utah politics, at the state legislative level, there's a lot of camaraderie and a lot of working together for the good of Utah. Inside Sources, weekdays from 9 to noon.
This is a show that a person could listen and learn something every day and say, you know what, I didn't know that this morning at 9, but I know it now. Inside Sources.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on KSL News Radio.